Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to part 2 of the 3-part Wonder Woman analysis. In the first video, we examined what it means that Wonder Woman was created as an Amazon. This time we're going to explore the Freudian and Jungian psychoanalytic principles that Marston worked into the character. But first, a couple of disclaimers. Semesters upon semesters can be taught on the concepts we're going to briefly mention, so understand that I'm skimming the surface for the sake of an easily digested video. If anything piques your interest, I encourage you to research it, as this is a fascinating field. Second, I should say that my degrees are in literature, so I'm discussing psychoanalytic theory as a critical theory of art interpretation. Psychologists today will have varying assessments and applications of these principles in the actual practice of mental health. Now that the disclaimer is out of the way, let's begin. I want to examine two concepts in psychoanalytic theory. Remember that Wonder Woman's creator, William Moulton Marston, was a classically trained psychologist. He was a contemporary of Carl Jung and left his mark in the field. Whereas Jung identified the basis for what is now the Myers-Briggs personality test, Marston laid the foundation for the DISC test of behavior. Unlike Freud and Jung, whose work could be preoccupied at times with psychological abnormality, Marston was interested in the behavior of the general public. But their work was not uncomplimentary. While Marston's interest in dominant and submissive behaviors led to Wonder Woman's love allure, which we discussed in the first video, Freudian and Jungian ideas do lurk in the concept of Wonder Woman and in our reactions to her. First, let's explore Freud's concept of the bisexual. Forget for the moment what the term means today, as Freud was describing something far deeper than mere sexual attraction. Freud believed that men and women were born with both feminine and masculine psychological capabilities. Culture pushes boys to develop their masculinity after masculine role models, and culture pushes girls to develop their femininity after their role models. The adult bisexual for Freud was a theoretical adult who had fully developed both his or her masculine and feminine sides. Marston created Wonder Woman to be the kind of woman he felt should be in power in our culture. She should be in power because her femininity better suited her to the authority. But by asserting that authority, she would need to take on attributes that were culturally associated with the masculine. We see this dichotomy in her character from the start. She's a highly trained warrior who comes to our world preaching peace and love. Upon first traveling to man's world, she goes window shopping, and then fights and subdues a group of bank robbers. Understanding Wonder Woman in this light works whether one believes gender to be innate or a cultural construct. In either case, she was created to exist both with attributes that are seen as feminine and those that are seen as masculine. In part 3 of this series, we'll see how cultural tensions and anxieties have pulled her too far to one side or the other throughout her history. In doing so, they've robbed her and her love allure of effectiveness until she is restored and the cycle continues. If we understand this Freudian bisexual-like aspect of her character, we can enjoy her purpose and avoid appropriating her into the image of various causes. This brings us to our second concept, the anima. Remember that Freud said we each have a masculine and feminine psychology, and we choose one to develop as we align ourselves with masculine or feminine role models. Jung adds that whichever side we leave undeveloped becomes either our anima or animus. This is our individual concept of the opposite sex. The anima is man's concept and projection of a woman, and the animus is the woman's concept of the man. The anima is developed by our experiences with female figures in our lives, mothers, teachers, and then on to early girlfriends and such, just as the animus is developed by a woman's experience with men. We tend to project our anima or animus onto others in life, possible mates in particular. This tendency, Jung says, is where the experience of love at first sight comes from. You meet someone and feel instantly in love with them because you're projecting, or because they embody to a high degree your anima or animus. When such relationships fall apart, it is because the reality of the other person has punched too many holes through that projection by their actions, and we can no longer see our anima or animus in them. So we say it's like they've become a completely different person, when in reality only our perception of them has changed. William Moulton Marston created Wonder Woman to be a projected male anima. It's not all he created her to be, and it's a gross reduction of her character to only portray her as such. But her anima characteristics cannot be denied or revised out of the character by political climates. Marston wrote that normal men retain their childish longing for a woman to mother them. At adolescence, a new desire is added. They want a girl to allure them. When you put these two together, you have the typical male yearning that Wonder Woman satisfies. He's describing a generalized anima. Of course, he also created Wonder Woman to be the kind of strong role model he felt girls lacked in the culture, saying that not even girls want to be girls so long as our feminine archetype lacks strength, force, and power. Not wanting to be girls, they don't want to be tender, submissive, peace-loving, as good women are. Women's strong qualities have become despised because of their weak ones. It is this combination that gives Wonder Woman her appeal, but that also makes people so uneasy about her. As I said before, we'll see in part 3 of this series how from the 40s to today people try to alter the formula and make her mostly dominant or mostly submissive in character. Without fail, they rob the character of her core appeal and create a character they are more comfortable with in her place. But that's the topic for the next video. In the meantime, how do you see Wonder Woman embodying what has traditionally been thought of as masculine and feminine traits? In which stories do you see this balance of alluring mother/strong feminine play out the most? What are your favorite tales? Let me know in the comments section, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this type of character analysis. Part 3 of this series will be posted next week, so click the bell next to the subscribe button so you don't miss it. Until then, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the superhero stories you love. Thanks for watching.